So, what the hell is up, guys? It's been a while since I last checked in. You know, a lot has happened since, I guess, when I stopped recording these videos, it was like basically a year ago. I got a nice little hat as well. I thought I was not a hat guy, but it turns out I've just been buying the wrong size hats, because when well, first of all, I'm really tall, so proportionally everything is bigger, right? But also genetically, my family has big heads, so big heads plus I'm actually a tall person means it's impossible to buy hats that fit my cranium Rihanna forehead. But it's from Odd Job Hats. These hats actually fit like very well. Last video, I think I was saying how learn to conquer pain and you'll succeed in life. And in terms of progress on that front, I feel like my relationship with pain has improved, right? I think at that time I wasn't going through that many hardships, but I think being in London and through my own poor decision making, I've led to a lot of stresses, for better, for worse. I think for better, because it really tested how I react to external things. And yeah, I was feeling really lonely in London, and now I'm realizing that, I forgot what the quote was, but I sent it to my friend saying, when you stand before God, are you going to say, oh, but other people wanted me to do this, that's why this virtue is not convenient at this time, right? You have everything you need right now to make the life you want. Okay, everyone has the tools to change their life, you know. I realize people get bogged down in the ego. People get bogged down in their own thoughts. And over the last couple months, I've been trying to fix that. You know, one of the steps I've been doing recently is changing what I see, right? One of my previous videos, I talked about how the human body has roughly 11 million sensory receptors, and 6 million are spent on just the visual alone. So visual is a very important catalyst to how your brain thinks, because it's receiving a large proportion of the sensory receptors are visual stimulus based. So if you see negative things all day, you're gonna be thinking or feeling kind of negative. It's a vicious cycle, because you see a negative thing and you relate to it, so you like it. And then now the Instagram algorithm's like, yo, let's keep giving this guy this type of negative content that he keeps liking, you know? Soon enough, you're in this perpetual cycle of just negativity. And you don't even know why you feel bad. You know, roof over your head, food on the table, and yet you still feel bad. Right, so what I've been doing is freaking not interested on negative things, or things like really attractive Instagram models, right? Because let's say, sorry if it's a bit loud, let's say you have a nice, I don't know, basically I'm trying to cut out all negativity and all type of promiscuity from my Instagram feed. I don't want to be seeing all these Instagram girls wearing absolutely zero clothing, right? Look at other 20-year-olds or people around my age, their explore page, it's just all half-naked girls, basically naked girls, let's be real. Super attractive, but like, what is that doing for you? You're just idolizing the wrong things, right? And it can make you slip into bad behaviors like, you know, masturbation, you know. It's basically, the stuff on Instagram, some of the stuff is basically softcore pornography, right? And if you're seeing that all the time, you have a higher propensity to engage in bad habits, right? If I were to put a euphemism on it. And like my mom always says, if you don't want to drink, don't go to the bar, right? So of course you can leave stuff up to willpower and just be like, I'm not going to do this. But also you need to have a good system where you won't even be able to have that stimulus in the first place for you to then make a conscious decision on that stimulus, right? You don't want the stimulus at all, right? So that's what I've been doing, clearing my Instagram feed. I was trying to stop using Instagram for a while. I still actively am trying to use it a lot less, but I realize Instagram is an important tool, not only to learn about, you know, the world, but just like keep in touch with a community and feel social, you know? So at least if I'm gonna use Instagram, you know, at least make it a positive impact on my life, if that makes sense, in terms of stimulus, a positive stimulus, right? If all you see is half-naked girls and drugs and stuff, you're gonna be more tempted to engage and indulge in that kind of stuff, right? So I've been like trying to cut that out. I've been really practicing a lot of critical thinking, introspective thinking, in the sense that like realizing that a lot of my thoughts are not my thoughts, but rather they're just like feelings, you know? And it's not actually what is. Thoughts are not actually what is. And sometimes, most of the time, the thoughts are not even mine, right? I want to be the best version of myself, but I still have bad thoughts. I still have thoughts like, let's go hook up with these girls, let's go do some drugs, you know? But even though the goal is not that, I still get those thoughts. Everyone gets those thoughts. It's very normal. So what I've been practicing is just, you know, dissociate my thoughts from myself, right? That's been me recently. I feel a lot better physically and mentally in terms of, you know, not having to work as hard or at all, to be honest. I've just been decompressing a little bit. And I've been eating relatively intuitively rather than counting every single calorie and macro in order to bulk my freaking face off, right? That gets mentally tiring and, you know, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, really. It's just been good to be back in Hong Kong with the family, meeting new friends and whatnot. Look at this beautiful freaking weather. You already know the vibes. I'm trying to up my social skills as well in terms of just stepping out of my comfort zone. I was really shy in public. I still am, but I'm trying to just do stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable, like scream in public, you know? I feel like you need a good support system in order to do weird stuff like scream in public, right? So I always have my family and my younger brothers, and I kind of feel a pressure to perform in front of them and lead, you know? I feel like I've had a good impact on them in terms of them coming out of their shell, you know? But only time will tell. Only time will tell. My Instagram feed's just been all this like positive motivational stuff. Aurorian dance, the lamp is low, Nujabes, I don't know how you say it, but it's basically been all of that. Worrying about what I can control in the present. You know, realizing that the past has happened, and just thinking about the past will just turn to anger, and thinking about the future will just turn to doubt and fear and all these negative emotions, you know, and just controlling what is, you know, the present. What's going on right now, you know? What can I control right now? I feel like being present is very important as well. Like, whole time you're worrying about the future, you didn't even realize that you're in such a beautiful place, and you're so lucky to be alive, you know? I'm in Hong Kong with my family. I'm in the beautiful freaking nature right now. Like, what more can be better right now? There's nothing else that's better than this. Let's be realistic now. Being alive is such a treat. Of course, I'm very privileged to have my financial status, roof over my head, food on the table. It's very easy for me to say, but like, regardless of the hand you've been dealt, life is like poker. Sometimes the hand you've been dealt is not good, but you still gotta play sometimes. Sometimes the hand you've been dealt is not good, but you still can win. Okay? It's about how you react to external stimulus that gives out your kind of your thought process, if that makes sense. If you act confident, people are gonna be like, yo, this guy's confident, like let me like chill. Okay, this guy's a serious dude. You know? If you're acting like a chicken wing, then people are gonna be like, this guy's a freaking chicken wing. Okay, I can just walk right over him. Right? You know, you gotta have some integrity. And integrity is another thing. I've been really focusing on just like accepting myself and just being like, okay, everyone's a little weird. I'm a little weird in certain aspects, but that's me, you know? And like, look at these beautiful freaking views. Look at this. Isn't life beautiful? Tell me life is not beautiful. You look at a freaking, you look at this and you don't think, wow, isn't Hong Kong freaking beautiful? You know? Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, as someone who wants to be a masculine man, you have to really be like kind of stubborn and defend your boundaries, have some integrity. Because that's what a feminine woman wants to lean on. You know, you want to lean on someone who's strong, a strong foundation. You don't want to lean on a freaking paper stick. You want to lean on a freaking brick wall who will keep you stable mentally, physically, financially, right? You know, this is gonna start sounding like some Andrew Tate stuff, but like, if you're a kind of logical person, you'll know that some of the stuff he says is actually has some truth to it. You know? But yeah, that's been me recently. I hope you guys can hear me because it's freaking loud. I'm walking on the side of a road. Whew, it's hot. Oh my god, it's freaking hot. You know, I've grown up with lots of people driving me around, so I've not really walked the city, but you know, and neither of most people, but you know, especially in this weather. But yeah, it's nice to walk around. Or you take the city in. People think you're crazy, but dude, a walk feels amazing. A walk in nature feels amazing. Hong Kong is full of freaking beautiful nature, so why not enjoy the fruits? Walking is good for your mental, decreases amygdala activity, and the amygdala is responsible for fear and anxiety. So, you know, get your body moving, get your mind right, and things will fall in place as long as you keep pushing yourself. I'm a bit at a healthier weight physically, and it's easier on the mental. Skin's relatively clear. Like, I'm trying to take care of myself as much as possible. I've gotten closer with some new friends, Christoph and Ping. You already know who you guys are. Yeah, I think in terms of fitness, right? I keep saying this, but I think I've put into place very good habits. You know, I don't find working out a chore, as I once did, maybe, for like the first couple weeks. I actually loved the gym. I was at the gym. It's not optimal, but I was at the gym at like 10 p.m. last night, and we gymmed till like midnight. But yeah, something like this is a good, healthy habit, right? It's a good support system to have, right? So for me, the way my brain works is, if I have a stressful thing, I tend to go to the gym more, right? I feel like that's great, because rather than when I'm stressed, I pick up a vape, or I masturbate, or I take some drugs, or, you know, I just don't do healthy habits. I'm doing it into something that is nice, is good. You know, I'm turning this negative energy into something productive, right? It's a lot like the car differential. At the back wheel, the car sends rotational, like force one way, and there's a thing called a differential, which changes the direction of the force, so the back wheels can spin. You know, the engine's at the front. How does it send energy straight back and then to the wheels to rotate? It's through the differential, right? In the same way that I'm just redirecting this negative energy into something productive. I feel like that's always good, right? For me, I think everyone has their crutches. My crutch is gym, and I'm very fortunate that gym is something productive, right? Some people's crutches is, you know, the bad habits that I mentioned before. That's unfortunate because that leads to a lot of detrimental long-term downsides, I guess. Whereas for me, I gym too hard one of the days. Okay, maybe I injure myself at max, or I burn myself out. You know, that's not the end of the world, right? Whereas if I take too many drugs, I could overdose. I drink too much, I could, you know, have to get my stomach pumped or something. You know, I'm very grateful that this is the crutch that I choose. You know, and same way the crutch is also something that propels me forward rather than just being able to hold me. You know, it also helps me go forward in life rather than just keeping me up, if that makes sense. I love the gym, man. You know, some people don't understand. I had a talk about my parents last night, with my parents last night, and they're just saying, dude, of course it's amazing to gym, but they're basically calling me a weirdo. Like, what 20-year-old does not like to go out and party and likes the gym, right? I only know, I'm not trying to say I'm the most special dude ever, right? But my friends are maybe the only two people I know who like the gym just as much as me, and who don't really like going out too much, you know? My parents were basically just calling me a weird, which is okay, right? I'm not offended whatsoever. You know, they think I'm a weirdo from their perspective, but I like who I am, right? And my friend Christoph said he likes who I am, you know? And that's it's kind of nice, bro. Just being able to accept who I am, regardless of external opinions, right? Of course, I respect my parents' opinion, but it's this is what I like to do, man. You know? And I won't get offended. I'll take it into consideration, you know? I'll take it in, right? But I'll put my own twist on it. I'll take their advice with my own style, if that makes sense. And in terms of the stresses, you know, I don't want to indulge too much into the stresses that I face because, you know, to others it might not seem like it's a huge deal, but for me it's a huge deal, right? It's all about relative nature, right? So I'm not going to delve too deep into it, but, you know, I had a lot of social stresses, mental stresses as well, just in terms of pushing myself to that mental limit, if that makes sense. So it's a stress imposed by myself, consciously and subconsciously, voluntarily and involuntarily. I think I've come out of this storm, per se. I like to put things in metaphors to give my life a bit of a narrative and make things more interesting, but I've come out of this storm stronger, mentally, physically. Dude, you know, making gains out here, boy. Okay, I'm cringe. But cringe is a mindset. Once again, everything is a mindset. I always say this. I'll do a lot of cold exposure as well, and people just think, dude, this MF is crazy. Why is he doing cold ice baths every day? Why is he working so hard? You don't need to work this hard, bro. Okay? What are you training for? I don't know. I just see stuff like gym. I see stuff like ice baths as ways to build mental calluses, as David Goggins said. mental calluses. That is the theme, you know, on my mind, right? Just make my mind a bit tougher. Why do I want to be tougher? I don't know. I do actually know. I want to be tough so I can control it and have control over my life, right? Someone who has no capacity to fight, saying, oh, I'm not going to punch you because I'm a nice person. There's no morality in that, because you don't even have the capacity to punch someone, right? You should train yourself and be a monster and then control it. Then there is some form of morality, okay? Some guy who can't fight saying, I didn't punch you because I don't want to hurt you, has no merit, okay? But Mike Tyson saying, I could kill you right now, but I'm not gonna because you're actually a nice person, has a lot more merit. I don't know if these metaphors, examples are making any sense or hitting, but all I know is this video is hitting for me in terms of if I understand it or not. Life is good, man. It's good to be alive. I think bad things are meant to happen, so you feel good after surviving, you know. This one girl rejected me so hard that I started going into nature, bro. Like, and the one girl rejected me so hard that I started appreciating God's gifts of nature, okay? Shorty rejected me so hard that I'm now hiking freaking mountains, okay? There's another example of turning something positive into something negative into something positive, right? You know, just how you frame it, okay? A snake bites you and runs away. You spend all your time trying to catch the snake, to tell the snake, to ask the snake, why did you bite me? When you could have spent it fixing yourself, getting the poison out, and not dying, right? Some of the stuff, it just happens. You just gotta accept it. And you just gotta work on yourself, focus on what's the correct task at hand, right? A lot of people get caught up in the emotions of things. You know, oh, I stepped in some poo. Someone watching will know that reference. Stepped in some poo, now it's ruined my whole week. How are you gonna let one thing determine how you feel for the rest of the whole week? That's crazy. How are you gonna let one girl reject you and that's gonna determine how you feel for so long, right? Mashallah, beautiful life. I love my mom, I love my dad. Great people, give me great opportunities, great advice. They're not perfect, but neither am I, right? No one is perfect. There's no such thing as a 10 out of 10 girl, right? A 10 out of 10 girl is an 8 or 9 that you build something special with. That's my view on it. No such thing as a 10. People saying, oh, 10 this, 10 that. I have no enemies. Never mind. Okay? That's another thing. I have no enemies. I've been taking on this philosophy of I have no enemies. I have no enemies. If I know someone has resentment towards me, I go to them and I resolve it. Because soon enough, you're gonna have so many enemies and you're gonna be caught up in all of this. Next thing you know it, you're dead. Okay? And what was all this hate for? What was all this negative energy for? Absolutely nothing. Absolute freaking nothing. Okay? So just chill. Take a breather, bro. You'll be fine, bro.